Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Linda. Good morning, Annette. 48 in upstate South Carolina. It is like 32 degrees right now. Feels like 25. It is cold here. Good morning, Melanie. Good morning, Deb. Good morning, Dawn. And I think I may have everyone, maybe. I am trying to set my TV up again. Let's see how we're going to do this today. It's been a little crazy in the house today. Good morning, Gina, who has not been asleep today. I've been catching up with your past couple of days' lives, but since I haven't slept yet since Saturday, I need to try and be still and still meditate. Good morning, Muriel. Well, Gina, I don't know if you're going to be able to sleep through this one. Maybe you can try. We'll try. We'll try to put you to sleep, but I got my new game yesterday. So this is from the same makers of that worst case scenario survival mode in the wilderness or something like that it was called. And this one is worst case scenario game of surviving life. Game of surviving life. So I am super ecstatic and excited. I did start reading some of the questions. At first, I was like, oh no, this is the same game. And they just kind of sneakily, remarketed it. But it isn't. Good morning, E. Marie. So, yeah, so there's some of them are funny, and then some of them are kind of like the same as before. But there's 3 packs. I opened only 1 pack because it was like new. So, yeah. So we're going to go with the first couple of questions. The first pack I opened was about dating and working. And so we're going to go on a date. All right? We're going to go on a date. Here we go. I'll put this in the back. Some of these I started having to read because a couple of them funny yet not appropriate to put on YouTube. So we don't want to offend anyone. How's your vertigo? Well, yesterday I was fine when I went to the doctor. It was starting to act up as I was on my way home. Last night before I went to bed, I had that wave that I get, and I just went to bed. And I'm fine this morning. I really think it's the weather. The doctor seems to think it's the weather too. Combination of it just being miserable and cold and wet and rainy. I think it's either the pressure or the rain, the constant. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better. I have a lot of parts done. I sewed all my blocks yesterday on the live, and then I pressed them open, and so I got some of that, and this morning I trimmed them down because I've been up for a little bit, not much, but I wanted to get myself, ready for school. So I'm not in my PJs because it's cold. I don't want my hair to freeze. So here is my plastic bags with with my labels, and the part I'm at is making flying geese, which I did, and then these are for the tree assembly, and now I'm putting together the trunks and the tree parts. So we're going to put that together this morning, and then I'm going to lay these out and see what happens. The change in the barometric pressure, that it makes joints ache worse. Oh yeah, that's definitely, anytime it rains, it makes my joints. But so I'm gonna sew these up, and while I sew these up, let's go on a date. I may not be as fast typing in my answers because my cat Luna is extra frisky this morning, and she blocks my phone. That's funny. It's kind of funny. Yes, I'll have a funny cat story. I don't even own cats. I'm allergic to cats. But we have a couple of outdoor cats that have made their way to my place. And there's one in particular that thinks that he lives here and he's my cat. There's one in particular. Sleeps by the side of the door of the house, the whole 9 yards. Of course, now it has a little cat bed by the side inside of the house, but it's still an outdoor thing. So we had the door open because it was actually pretty warm last night. It was weird. It like got really warm, and my son was cooking, and it was a little smoky, let's say. So he had opened up the screen door. So the screen was on, the door was open with the screen, and they were eating dinner, and I was reading them some of these cards, and I said which ones could be appropriate, which ones could be deemed not appropriate. We were laughing, having a hysterical ball last night, and they're eating. My son made venison. He's a hunter, so he made venison, and he made mushrooms and onions and rice and asparagus. And all of a sudden we're talking, and up peeps out this cat's head. We call him Tom. I don't know if it's a he or she, but she keeps popping, or they keep popping their head up, and then they put their paw and they look in, and they're going like this, being so freaking adorable, and then we all look like, I think the cat's hungry and wants some food. Good morning, Sherry. And I fed the cat, because that's the one cat I do feed. So yeah, I guess it is my cat now, right? If anything, yeah, I don't know. It needs a good home is what it needs. It needs a home with a family. I do ask around, because I feel like the cat, but will not come in the house. Will not. I open the door, it runs off good distance, looks at me, but has its distance. It does not want anything to do with humans at all, like at all, other than peek through your door, your screen door when it's dinner time. It's freaking adorable. All right, so here we go. While I sew this, we're going to give us the first question here, okay? I guess we should give backstory, right? Okay, so now we find ourselves, well, I don't want to find myself single again. I'm very happy with my honey, and nothing better happened to my honey. So knock on all this. But let's just say, per se, someone found themselves single, okay? And now they're going into this dating world, which is very different than when I was dating way back in the day. Very different when I first got married. Very different when I was dating, just whatever, 10 years ago or 8 years ago when I met honey. And probably very different than some of you guys, right? Dating. So dating has really changed. Now, these cards say that they were produced in 2006. So let's just put in mind that this is, I guess, dating advice or survival of dating in 2006. And let's see, who could we say? I don't know. You guys can put in the chat, who did we find? Who do we want to date? Who do we want to date? You guys can put that in the chat. I know a lot of people had The Rock put in. A lot of people like Jason Momoa. Good morning, Lori. Some people have some other folks. But anyway, you all figure out who it is that we're dating. And we'll figure it out, 007, whatever your thing is, okay? Maybe it's the Magic Mike guy. I don't know what his name is. Is it in the chatting table? Something like that. I don't know. So here we go. Let's see, who could be coming? Boyfriend one is coming over, okay? Or maybe Keanu Reeves. Okay, Gina says Keanu. Okay, we'll go with Keanu for this question. And then the next question, we'll try someone else. Okay, Keanu's coming over. And guess what happened? We were over here sewing our fabric Hut quilt, right? And we were getting all involved in this, all right? And then we look up, good morning, Jim. We look up and we realize what time it is, and we go, oh, he's gonna be here in 15 minutes. I better get my clothes on, and I gotta get dinner on the table because I had invited Keanu over for dinner. Yep. Now I look at my pantry, and I realize not only did I not give myself enough time to get ready for this date because I was quilting, and instead of food shopping this week, I went fabric shopping. Yeah, because now I've got only a can of soup in my pantry. I don't date Never have never. I will stick to my sewing machine and my pants. No stress. No, don't put on my clothes. I'm totally ready for him naked. Okay, Gina. Well, I had to put on my clothes. This is our, I don't know what number date this is. But anyway, again, I was busy quilting and fabric shopping. Forgot to do the food shopping. And I go into my pantry and there's a can of soup. I'm like, oh, there's a can of soup. Okay. So now I'm going to pour this over him. He'll be happy. Okay. How to serve ordinary canned soup to your date without being discovered. Okay. A, add a 1/4 cup less liquid than called for and replace water with chicken or vegetable stock. B, add a pinch of salt and pepper. Or C, add a splash of Spanish sherry. Okay. So this is survival of life. This is supposedly a real life scenario. Well, it could be as a quilter, right? Because we're always sewing and shopping. What is it going to be? A, B, or C? A, sherry, chicken stock. I have that. Still going to be naked. A. Oh, I have to iron some of these pieces. A. So the answer I would pick is A, myself, because I have done that just for myself, right? Like right now, going through all my stomach issues and what in the heck do I have to do? Let me see how many trunks I have to make. Pre-assembly. Okay, here we go. Begin with 8 and 4. All right. So, you know, what I do now is I would take like cream of chicken soup and I add bone broth, chicken bone broth, and it does give it, you know, a different flavor. I zhuzh up canned soup, you know, when I'm not feeling well all the time. So totally think it was A. But then, you know, B is true too. So the right answer is C, add Spanish sherry to it. I mean, I think the real answer is all the above. I would add all of it. I mean, just add it all. So that's what I would do. I would put it all out there. All right. So we were all laughing about this last night. Last night, my son's girlfriend was like, "Wait, who? What? What are we doing on a date?" Okay, so now we're on a date with someone else. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe nobody else put anybody up. I didn't see Lisa's borrowing Lisa's apron. Gina's borrowing Lisa's not going to want her apron back. So maybe we have another date with Keanu because I don't see anybody else. And now we have to, this time, because we kind of fed him some canned soup. And it went spectacular, okay? We now have decided to go hog wild and all out, and we made a goose. I don't know why. I don't know how this could be real life because I don't know how many people are making goose for a date, but here we go. How to avoid splattering your date with hot fat when carving a goose. Again, the question is how to avoid splattering your date with hot fat when carving a goose. A, use a cold, sharp carving knife. B, pierce the skin of the goose with a fork before cooking. C, just out of the oven, tip the goose with the open cavity pointing down in the baking dish. Let the fat drain out for several minutes before carving. Just saying, I'm not making goose for any date. I'm not even making goose for my honey, so goose is never going to be in the picture of things for me. Goose isn't sexy. No, a little weird myself with the whole goose thing, but you know, to each his own, I guess. Have him carve the goose, as most men are good with carving. There we go. All right. So I didn't hear, still laughing at Gina. How to avoid splattering your date with hot fat when carving a goose. Use a cold, sharp carving knife. B, pierce the skin of the goose with a fork before cooking. C, just out of the oven, tip the goose with the open cavity pointing down in the baking dish and let the fat drain out for several minutes before carving. I I don't like goose or duck. He's getting some nice southern fried chicken, and that's coming from Popeyes. And good morning, E. Marie, and she's saying tip the goose, which is C. Gina's going with her own choice. So yeah. So the answer is B. Pierce the skin of the goose with a fork before cooking. All right. Now, here we go. Hold on. So, now we've got this goose going. Okay. How much do you tip a goose? 20%. We got this date going. And now the man just inhaled that goose at the dinner table. And now we need to know how to save your date from choking. Yes, how to save your date from choking. A, from behind, place your fist into the center of the front of their body and place your open palm over your fist. Pull up, fist up and in. B, lean your date against the wall and using your fist, strike their chest until the obstruction is cleared. C, from behind, press your open palm into the abdomen and use your other hand to strike your date between the shoulder blades. Gina will do the Heimlich. A and A. Good morning, Andrea. Andrea, before I leave on retreat, if you want me to do something, you need to send me an easy sew if you want me to do it, so that I can make a fabric pull before I leave. Only if you're interested. Only if you're interested. So everybody is basically saying A, and A is the right answer. Okay. So we saved him. He's good. We saved his life. What do you do if he puke on you? Get in the shower, I guess. I hope he doesn't do that. Now, that's all happened. We saved his life. We sit down. We're having dessert, maybe. I don't know. And now this has happened. Don't go on a date with me because strange things happen. How to react if your date has a seizure at dinner. I don't know what I was doing to cause that seizure, but now here we go. A, put your date's wadded up napkin in their mouth to protect their tongue. B, rush the maitre d' and have him call 911. Oh, I guess we went out for dinner. Oh, well, this is a whole nother date. Okay, we went out for dinner. C, clear all chairs and tables out of your date's way and have them lay down on the floor. If the floor isn't carpeted, put your jacket under their head. Okay, I misspoke. We're out on a date, like out in public. He's not trying to hide. He's in so love with me. So it's okay. We've got a C going. We got a C. We've got a C. Oops, I'm ironing cards. 3, put a spoon handle in his mouth. All right, so we have our trunk units. When Harry Met Sally reenact will be amusing. B, C, and I have to now put these together. So I put 2 of these together. And all right. Okay. So some of these I cannot read as I do not want to be demonetized. So yes, so we have C, clear all chairs and tables out of your date's way and have him or her lay down on the floor. If the floor isn't carpeted, put your jacket under their head. Okay. Now, there's all kinds of stuff here. Let's see. This is cute. Let's see. Okay, so we went to that dinner. They had a seizure. We saved them. Good morning, Chloe. Now we're rushing home. For whatever reason, this man wants to get out of the restaurant after that, and he's been cleared by the doctors. You just killed me. Thank you, Sherry. And how to survive if you are stopped by the police on a date. Yes, you're on a date going home. And now you may have been going, someone was going a little too fast. And you are stopped by the police on this date. So how to survive if you are stopped by the police on a date. A, calmly claim your innocence repeatedly if necessary. B, tell the truth about your record if asked, and try to use the presence of your date to help you. C, display respect and admit your complete negligence. He can join us, okay? Invite him to join you is Gina's answer. C, we have a C. Run. We have a C and run. So, are we ready for the answer? Do we have any last minute guesses of what should we do to survive this? At this point, I don't know if we're embarrassed, believed. I'm not sure. What Yes. So it is B. Tell the truth about your record. I want to know what kind of record one has, if asked, and try to use the presence of your date to help you. Okay. So now we've been stopped by the police. And, you know, he asks you for your license, insurance, whatever the police ask for nowadays, okay? And he goes back there, and you're wondering maybe why you're being stopped. And you're looking at your date. Okay. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're not. Maybe he's driving. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But there's a thought that comes to your mind and you start to panic a little. And now you need to, how to determine if your date is an axe murderer. Because now you're wondering, did we get stopped because he's an axe murderer? Yes. So how to determine if your date is an axe murderer? A, she or he wears the same outfit every day and has a large collection of axes. B, they are overly social and never wants to be alone. Or C, they have a history of bedwetting and display cruelty to animals. Because while the cop is back there, you are starting to wonder, is he an axe murderer? So, how to determine if your date's an axe murderer? There we go. I'm going to go find out if he... So that's the thing. Is like if you're on a date, is that date discussion like... Was I at a restaurant and asked him if he wets his bed? Does he kill animals? Like, I mean, how do I know that information? But the answer is C, yes, that they have a history of bedwetting and display cruelty to animals. I mean, they could also, yeah, I don't know, but this is legitimate questions, I promise you. I'm not making these up. These are true to life questions that are being asked right now. All right, now, let's see. Oh, here we go. This one would have been good before. Let's see. So, we're getting stopped by, we already got stopped by the police. Now I'm wondering if he's an axe murderer. Guess what? He's now wondering while the cops are still looking at things. He's trying to determine if the female date is married. He now is wondering if I'm married. So, here we go. Machine Geek here. What kind is that sewing on Leanna? Here, this my Foff. This is my Foff Hobby 1200. This is what I've been sewing with for a while now. Oh. So, oh, gotta go. Bye, Nat. Thank you. So now I was wondering if he was an axe murderer, and he's wondering, am I married? So how to determine if your female date is married? A, she only wants to go out with you on Sundays and Monday nights during football season. B, her automobile registration is in a man's name, or the skin on her ring finger is pale. C, she gushes whenever you compliment her or display any chivalry. You're welcome. Now, I have all my questions on my cutting board. On my pressing board. Cutting board. Listen to me, cutting board. All right, I'm going to move them over here to my design board. And I'm trying to group them so that they're funny, but it's sometimes I've missed some that could have gone in another pile. Okay, so we'll put those on this design board. All of the above. I actually was entertained by the Sunday football situation. I thought that was kind of funny. Okay, so this is what the tree unit looks like right there. All right. right, so here we go. Move these back. And here we are. So we have finished about, yes, the axe murder and the date. I can't read this question because that's not appropriate. Okay, so there's all kinds of issues going on here. We are, well, here we go. These are the work ones. Let me take these work ones and put there. That might be tomorrow's working situation. Okay. This is still on a date. Okay, so these are all date. So now here we go. We are, what are we doing? I got to look at what we're doing here. So we have decided, we made it home. He dropped me off. He was gonna be a gentleman. And so with this date, he was a gentleman and he left. Good morning, Maria. And so what happens? Okay, so he invites me out. You know what? I had decided that guy was skeevy. I don't know. He kind of creeped me out. So we're on a new date, okay? I'm waiting for the question of whether or not you're both serial killers in the same car. What are the odds of surviving the night? That's not in here, but that would have been a good question. So, okay, so we dumped him. We weren't feeling him, okay? And actually, that leads up to a question. We were not feeling him, okay? Let's find that question because I know I asked. Here we go. We made it, the cop, the whole axe murderer, the Mary thing. And then I had decided, yeah, we decided that he's the one driving, okay? So I decided, I don't really want to go on this date anymore. I'm done. I'm over it. I don't want to see this guy again. All right. So now we have to communicate disinterest through body language. Okay, so how to communicate disinterest through body language on a date. A, shove your hands in your pockets. B, run your tongue over your lips and teeth. And C, nod frequently when your date is talking. So how am I going to communicate my disinterest through my own body language of this? Gina's putting her clothes back on. She's over it. She's over it. All right. So good morning, Marlene. It is very early. We are a wackadoodle group today. I got a new game from the same makers. I gotta move us because I've got to set this quilt up, or else I'm going to try to set this quilt up. I'm having so much fun, I don't even know if I could set this quilt up. Yeah, here we are. All right. And bring my design board. The other two packs are in cellophane, so I don't know if there's more dating questions. Good morning, Sherry. So, okay, so we did these, and my disinterest. I'm disinterested, and they're not going to understand any of those. Turn your head and look away. So, yeah, so they're saying how to communicate disinterest through body language on a date is A, shove your hands in your pockets. So I shoved my hands in my pockets, and I said, I'm going, bye, and I leave. Okay. So I'm back out on the trail. If you can't carry a concealed weapon, then putting your hands in your pocket. So I leave. That date is over. I was really lucky that, first of all, when I made the soup for the one guy, and then he did make it to a goose dinner, I forgot to ask you all a question. So let me ask you this question. When I did the whole soup and goose thing, how did I avoid giving my date food poisoning? So the question is, how to avoid giving your date food poisoning? A, do not serve foods that have been frozen, thawed, and then refrozen. B, do not serve homemade mayonnaise, rare meats, or foods with dented cans. C, serve lots of alcohol to kill any bacteria. Okay, so here we go. We are now on to assembling the quilt top. And I'm grabbing blue pieces, and they are marked. So we have B, A, A and B. I had blue. Yep. All right. So the answer is B. Do not serve homemade mayonnaise, rare meats, or foods from dented cans. All right. Good morning, Catherine. Good morning, Joyce. So now I'm going on a new date. Who am I going on this new date with? You can put that in the comments below. Who am I going on a new date? Let's see. This can go here. That can go there. This can go here. That can go there. There you go. All right, so there's a lot going on here. This is, okay, that goes all there. Here we go. Did we get someone? The parole officer, Jack Reacher. You're all on quite an adventure this morning. Yes, we are. Okay, so this is the deal. I just met this guy. I forgot. I don't even remember his name, okay? Something about a Heine. But anyway, I just met this guy. I went fabric shopping, and he happened to be there. What was he doing? He was buying his sister some fabric for her birthday, because that's just the kind of way this guy is. He was buying his sister some fabric. It was her birthday. He started chatting with me. He started saying, like, it's my sister's birthday. She's a quilter. I want to buy her some patterns and some fabric. And, oh no, mom. Let's say mom. That's even better. He wants to buy his mom some fabric, okay? And patterns. Come on. I met him in the quilt store. And, he happened to give me his phone number because in case he had any more quilting questions. And so now, how to leave a follow-up phone message for someone you just met. So these are our choices. A, call once and leave a message. If they do not reciprocate, do not call again. B, call every day, but only once a day. You don't want to be a pest, but you cannot trust answering machines and voicemail. C, call once and leave a message. If you do not hear back, follow up one more time with an email asking for a return call. Leave the rest up to them. Oh, better yet, you met the fabric wrap. Oh, I like that one better. All right, so I need my blocks here. That's already been cut. So we have a lot of A's, a lot of A's, a lot of A's, one C. So we need to put 3 of these up. I don't know how big this quilt is, so we're going to come all the way over. One, the fabric wrap. Okay, so we've met the fabric wrap. 2, and 3. So we're putting 3 of these up. All right, so the answer is you text. I know this is probably before all that, right? Okay, so the answer is yes, A. A is the answer. Call once to leave a message. If they do not reciprocate, do not call again. All right, now that that's happened, for some reason, let's see, for some reason, they invite you to dinner. Okay, they invite you to dinner. And, they invite you to dinner. Let's see. And now you want to know who pays on the date. Okay, so how to know who pays on a date. A, the man always pays no matter what. B, if the man asks the woman on the date, he pays. If the woman asks the man, she pays. C, the first date should always be Dutch, split in half by both parties. Okay, so I have to do 3, and now we've got, oh, these are the big ones. We've got, we're all over the board. We've got A, C's, B's, D. Joyce is making her own choice. So this one comes next. I never asked the guy out. C, B, C. So we're going to put one of these A blocks go here. Okay. And then our B block is one that looks like, let's see. I should probably label these. That would be the best. And a B block is this. B. C. We've got, all right. So we've got a C block that comes here. And a D block that looks like this. And then we have 3 of these pre-cut squares that they gave us. And those go here. 1, 2, and 3. All right, that's our first row. Now, who pays on this date? What fabric is this, Leanna? It reminds me of thatch. I have no idea what fabric it is. They did not say, but it's called Wild Reflections. And it is from Fabric Hut. You can go to their site. I have everything linked below. You should always be prepared to pay your own way just in case he's creepy. I agree. That would be D when someone said D. But it says if a man asks the woman on the date, he pays. If the woman asks the man, she pays. I want to say the man always pays no matter what, but that we know that's not happening nowadays. So we'll move on. Okay. So now I've called him, and you know what? He called me back. He asked me out. Now I'm wondering, as I'm getting ready, who's going to pay. So I'm going to assume he's going to pay, but I'm going to bring money with me just in case. I mean, he can pay with some fabric. I'll pay the bill if he gives me some fabric since he's a rep. Now he rings my doorbell. Because he's old-fashioned, he's picking me up at the house. My first date should never do that. I should meet him at the restaurant. That's not a question, but in my case, with nowadays, how crazy people are, yeah. But, you know, for whatever reason, I tell him to wait. I have a 2-story house, and now I have to avoid disaster when descending stairs on a date. Yes, I have to avoid disaster when descending stairs on a date. Now, Here goes. It looks like a mountain. I like that. Yes, this is a mountain quilt. So, how to avoid disaster when descending stairs on a date. He's at the bottom waiting for me. Yeah, you're not supposed to come to that. But hey, I got this question. I got to use it up. A man walks first. Oh, never mind. Forget that. Forget that. I rethought it. I was thinking he was downstairs. So forget that idea. No, because I just realized that we're descending stairs on a date at the restaurant. Just for the top of the stairs into his arms. So no, because the choices don't make sense with that backstory. Okay, so this is what happened. I'm walking down my own stairs. He's not at the bottom. I was just joking. I'm going to meet him at the restaurant or somewhere public first. Okay, so now how to deal with body odor on your way to a date. You are, I guess, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you're Ubering or you are driving yourself, but you do one of these and you realize, oh, there's some body odor. What is up with that body odor? You're going nuts because you're on your way and you're running late. So now, A, what do I do? A, eat oranges. Even though you could see I took a shower. Don't ask me why. I don't either, but I got to put this question out there. How to deal with body odor on your way to a date. Maybe it's him. You know what? I smell glorious. Yeah, I smell glorious. You know what? He's on his way to me. No, because then I don't want to date him. Okay, this is just a random question. This has nothing to do with our date. How to deal with body odor on your way to a date. A, eat oranges. B, air out the offending areas by moving around and getting a breeze in there. Sorry. Thoughts are coming into my head. Don't mind me. C, remove the offending article of clothing and apply cologne or perfume. Who comes up with these choices? How to deal with body odor on your way to a date. A, eat oranges. B, air out the offending areas by moving around and getting a breeze. C, remove the offending article of clothing, apply cologne or perfume. I mean, oh my gosh, what has happened here? Oh, Gina's in an Uber with her hair. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is kind of funny. Okay, I'm going to go to row 2. Good morning, Zaza. And you guys all give me your answers. How to deal with body odor on your way to a date. A, eat oranges. B, air out the offending areas by moving around and getting a breeze there. And C, remove the offending article of clothing and apply cologne and perfume. A, or a pineapple. Okay, so I need to really, let's see, figure out. This is my A block, and this is my B block, and this is my, what is this? This is my A block, my B block. Oh, this is my A block, and this one here is my B block. This is my C block, and this is my D block. Okay, so I'm sorry, let me look. I thought you were taking off. No, Zaza, I was just thinking about it. I think I'm just not going to do weekends. I think I've come to the thing I'm not going to do weekends because I'm finding that actually makes more sense to me, and it's much better. But I say that. So now I carry perfume with me, but I don't take a shower. Okay, so clothing I've worn before but not cleaned. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I always smell like cinnamon and vanilla. Just a delightful dessert. Yes. So the way to deal with body odor is remove the offending article of clothing and apply cologne or perfume. Okay, so we're going back onto this date, okay? And we are going out I am meeting him there. I park out in the front. Lumi told Lumi. Yes, we used Lumi. We parked no, we didn't do that yet. Okay, so this is the deal. We get to the restaurant. So we go to this restaurant and we eat this dinner, and now I have to avoid descending. Okay, we got that. That goes with this. And we're at this restaurant, and we need to start how to politely start a date at a restaurant. Okay, how to politely start a date at a restaurant. The man hangs up the coats and holds the woman's chair to help seat her. B, the man holds the woman's chair to help seat her and then hangs up the coats. C, the man and the women each hang up their own coats and then the man helps seat the woman. There we go. Let me go with row 2. Oh, here we go. B, C, and what is D? D is this. But how can that be? That doesn't make sense. Hold on, I'm looking at... Oh, I guess that does make sense. Okay. And A again. And D. I need D. D looks like this. And A again. B. C. And D. Oops. All right, so this is what we're looking like so far. All right, let's see. Do A miss the question? Morning, Lisa. All right. So what do we, here, how to politely start a date at a restaurant. The choices were A, the man hangs up the coats and holds the woman's chair to help seat her. That's the correct answer. Muriel, the coat check is usually before you approach your table. You are so right, but that is the correct answer. Okay, so now we're sitting on this date. And I remember, after looking at him, he's not the fabric guy, so who was I texting or talking to? Must have been some random dude that, no, maybe not a random dude, but I don't know. Somehow, I thought I was going on the date. I was playing the game, right? I was playing the field. I thought I was going on the date with the fabric rep, but actually, I ended up going on a date with, I don't remember where I met him. But anyway, I'm sitting at the table. And we start talking, okay? And all of a sudden, he opens up his mouth. And yeah, this is a problem. I'm sitting here thinking, how did I make this mistake? Because I wanted to go out with the fabric salesman that was at the thing, but at the fabric store. But then I remember that guy who was buying his mom fabric and patterns. It was that guy. That guy is the guy I ended up with the date with. And he opens up his mouth. I'm totally confused. And he opens up his mouth, and I thought I'd pass out. Because how to deal with a dinner date who has halitosis. Yes, how to deal with a dinner date with who has halitosis. So, hey, these are our things. Ready? Date roulette. A, encourage your date to drink a lot of red wine. B, tell jokes and get your date to laugh a lot. C, order the guacamole. Insist your date eat a lot of it. No, I don't think so, Gina. He has halitosis. No, thank you. All right, so we're going to sew up this little bit here. And yeah, that's where we're going to be at. Okay, we're going to sew up this. So I am going to take this and pray that I do not mess with this. Hi, Jess. Welcome to the crazy morning we're having. So, what am I going to do now? Can I put this down? Maybe I just put this down. There we go. You're not going to see me sew the pieces, but at least you kind of see me a little. I would put Vicks in my nose because you carry Vicks in your purse. See, a celery is a palate cleanser. All right, maybe I can move over here. Offer him a breath mint, yeah. We could do all that. So this is what they say, how you survive that. C, order the guacamole and insist that your date eat a lot of it. So I don't know, maybe avocados fixes halitosis? Okay, I don't know. So now I'm sitting on that date and my ex comes in. So I'm already like all crazed because I made a date with someone else and then I see this and now he has halitosis. Plate of guacamole sitting in front of us and I'm like, let's eat. Yeah, let's have some guacamole. And my ex walks in the restaurant. Ready? How to handle your date dating someone else. Not only does he walk in, but he walks in with a woman half his age, closer to our daughter's age, and this is what emergency texts are for. And just things can't go any wrong. I'm dating this guy here. Didn't realize he wasn't the guy I was going on the date with. Now I'm feeding him guacamole because his breath is about ready to kill me. My ex walks in with someone half his age. And she's closer to my daughter's age. So here we go. How to handle your ex dating someone else. A, put your energies towards a new relationship of your own. B, continually remind yourself of why you broke up in the first place. And C, date with gusto, but don't get into a relationship before you're ready. There we go. And with that, I will start sewing some of these pieces. What are we doing? We're doing, my ex was always jealous. C, B, good home with that hot, go home with that hot bartender. Gotcha. B, be sweet as honey. What? Yup. Call out your ex about the rash on his. Muriel, that is funny. Call out to your ex about the rash on him has cleared up yet. Oh my God, Boiceville, you look like you just came through the birth canal like yesterday. Smile sweetly at your ex and keep going. Oh, oh, that's so funny. You guys, you laugh, make me laugh. I see that. I miss that. I miss these survival questions because they do make me laugh. They brighten up my morning. All right, so this is how you deal with this. B, continually remind yourself of why you broke up in the first place. There we go. Now this date is just going on, okay? He has one last thing. He wants to walk me to my car. I'm a little sketched out about that because, I wasn't feeling it. I put my hands in my pockets because remember before with your body language, if you were disinterested, put your hands in your pockets. I had my hands in my pockets. Yep. But he was following me anyway to walk down the city street on this date. We were ending it. So, how to walk down a city street on a date. A, the man should link his arm through the woman's, placing his arm in front to steer their stroll. B, the woman should walk slightly ahead of and to the side of the man, aligned with his left arm. C, the man should walk beside the woman on the side closer to the street. Let's see what you guys say. So Gina says C. We got a lot of C's, a lot of C's, a lot of C's, a lot of C's. So this is the deal. He's walked me and I just want to make sure. He's walked me and he's no gentleman. Nope. Be the side of the street just in case I need to run into traffic to make a fast getaway. So needless to say, that is the right answer is C. The man should walk beside the woman on the side closer to the street, but he failed that. Yeah, he failed that. As a matter of fact, when a car came whizzing by, he jumped behind me and on the side of me. So he was no gentleman. I don't know, but we're going to go with it, okay? So now I have to end this. I wouldn't say that we were in a relationship, but I've got to end this. This guy's no right now. We have to end this, okay? We're done. We're done. We're over it. Mr. Halitosis could go on his way. So how to end a relationship. I don't know if we were in a relationship, but whatever. A, send a letter that clearly outlines your reasons for ending the relationship. Change your phone number to avoid any embarrassing conversations. B, get out as soon as you realize it's not working. Be kind but firm and never say, I'll call you. C, try to transition the relationship from a romance into a friendship. What am I doing? Okay, but now I wasn't paying attention, so now I have to go back and make sure that, yeah, this goes like that. Perfect. Yep, now I got it. So what am I doing? I've not gone further on a date if it matters weren't present. Manners weren't present. Yes, B. B is the right answer. Get out as soon as you realize. I realized when I had to order the guacamole that I needed to end this. So there we go. Okay. Now, here we go. I've got this going on here. So here we go. Now, this is the deal. I left there and I realized my mistake. So I realized the fabric guy's number was this number. So I contacted him. He contacted me back. We've been going out for a bit now, right? We've been going out for okay, let's say we've been going out for a long while or whatever. Whatever the magical number is in your head that one should be going out long enough that, you know, things may happen. Okay, so now we've been out on this date. He was so romantic. He's like, I have a beautiful evening prepared for us. We had gone out, we ate, and at this point, he gets a limousine. Yes, he gets a limousine. And and he was like, I've got something special. So we got a limousine and it took us to the dock. Yes, we were at the dock. We were at Cape Cod. And there's a huge, beautiful yacht in front of me. And I'm like, what is going on here? All right. So we get out of the car. He does all the right things. And now, we were in Sandwich, okay? Because Sandwich, I know, not boats. Yes, we're going on a boat. So now, I have to walk down and descend. Does he bring fabric samples with him? Oh, honey, he brought me a huge bag of fabric samples. Huge bag. No, Lisa, we've been going on dates for a while, whatever that, like we've been dating and dating. Things are going well. Samples are happening. I mean, quilts are being made with this fabric. I mean, everything is going well. Okay, he has a huge bolt. Yeah, I didn't know what his bolt was at this moment. So now I have to avoid, okay, so here we go. How to avoid disaster when descending stairs on a date. This is where I'm descending stairs. I've got to go down so I can get on this beautiful boat, okay? So, A, the man walks first to break the lady's fall if she should trip. B, the man and woman walk side by side holding hands for support in case one slips. C, the lady goes first. Which one is it? A. So the right answer is A. It's the quality of fabric that matters. That's right, Muriel. So it is A. The man walks first to break the lady's fall if she should slip. And he was doing that. He was being such a gentleman. Such a gentleman. Now, it's got a board. Hi, Aisha. How to properly board a boat on a date. A, the lady boards the boat first. B, the man boards the boat first and then helps the lady aboard. C, the man carries the lady aboard the boat. Good morning, Regina. Joe is like B. Everybody's B. B is the right answer. Wait, is this still a yacht? Yes, it's still a yacht. Okay, yes, so it's B. All right, so we'll put that there. B says the man boards the boat first and then helps the lady around. So now that's happening. Okay. Now we're down, we're relaxing, beautiful. The waiter comes over because he has a whole staff of people there. You know, it's private, but not really private because it's like fully staffed, okay? And now he decides he wants to open this bottle of wine. So how to properly open a bottle of wine? They're trying to set the mood. A, push the cork down through the top of the bottle. B, using a corkscrew, turn clockwise while applying slight pressure until the corkscrew is a quarter of the way in the cork. Then gently pull out the cork. C, using a corkscrew, turn counterclockwise while applying slight pressure until the corkscrew is halfway in the cork. Then gently pull the cork out. Are my clothes still on since the fabric samples are me? Yes, your clothes are still on. We're having a romantic date. So, B. B, yes. So the answer is B. We're opening the bottle of wine clockwise, not counterclockwise, clockwise. I'm just putting in a pin here just to kind of keep it steady. All right, so now, right, I'm setting the mood. We just had some wine. Okay. Now, I want to communicate to him that I'm attracted to this whole scenario that's going on, okay? So, how to communicate attraction through body language on a date? A, twirl your hair and touch your date's face. B, put your hands on intimate areas of your own body. C, hold your pinky up to your lip. Tilt your head and squint as you look into your date's eyes. Watch below. Does anybody else watch Below Deck Down Under, that cliffhanger last night? No, but maybe I need to watch. Where do I find Below the Deck? He needs to drink that wine to get rid of that breath. No, this guy doesn't have halitosis. We dumped him. Do you remember? We dumped him. This guy is all bueno. Sorry. A, we have A. We have A. All right, so the answer is A, twirl your hair and touch your date's face. All right, here we go. D, run your fingers alongside your nose and then pop it on your lips. Talking about that. I need some moisturizer. All right. Yeah. You know, that halitosis guy, yeah, he's gone. Okay, it's on Bravo and Peacock. Oh, I don't have either one of those. All right. So now I want to interpret what's going on here. How to interpret receptiveness to your date's body language. So now I need to know if he's like, yeah, feeling this. Good morning, Mona. A, look for your date holding 2 index fingers on his head, symbolizing antennas. B, look for your date tilting their head to the side and listening without blinking. C, look for your date leaning in towards you. What do you do What do you do all three at the same time? So he think you're having convulsions. Nanu, 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 nanu. Oh, nanu, nanu. Okay. That was from the other day when we were talking about Mark. I'm not on a date with Mark from Orc. All right. So the answer is C. You look for your date leaning in towards you. All right. So that's that. Now, next step. You're getting comfortable. Well, you better go back, Mona. I gave a lot of advice going back. Yeah, Dave. Oh, so how to remove your tight boots. Your boots became very tight, and you need to remove them because you want to relax on the couch, okay? A, how to remove your tight boots. A, sprinkle powder down the shaft of each boot. B, rub your boots to warm the feet and legs. C, drip a little canola oil into the boots. I don't know. I have no idea. I wasn't thinking that, Lisa. Oh my goodness. You guys are going to get me so in trouble. I was not thinking that. They mean the leg. They mean the long leg. Okay? Of the boots. Wearing black boots. Scissors are cutting. Okay. Scissors are cutting them. Okay, so the answer is we're sprinkling powder down the shaft of each boot. All right, that's what we're doing. Enough said. Now the staff is everywhere, right? The staff is everywhere. And all of a sudden, one is coming in, one is going out. Definitely use oil on them while live streaming on your OnlyFans. So, like, you know, they're coming in and out. They're bringing us all kinds of things, strawberries, champagne, all that stuff. And all of a sudden, they bring this cake. And we're going to have dessert. And I was like, I'm not that hungry. He's like, no, you're having dessert. It's chocolate cake with cannoli filling in it. It's dessert time. Okay. I'm like, it's dessert. I was like, well, should we move somewhere else? He's like, no, we're going to have this cake right now with these strawberries and champagne. Okay. Now I'm having a whirlwind romance with this gentleman who now I know has a yacht, and I didn't know that before. Okay. He gives me a gift. Yep. I just break out and wear. Oh my God. And so he buys me, we're having cake, and he says, I wanted to give you something before the night ends. And I'm like, okay. And he gives me this beautiful diamond necklace. Yes, he buys me a beautiful diamond necklace. And I am looking at that necklace. And I am like, is this a rented yacht or is this dude for real? Because this is like a 2-carat diamond necklace thing going on, okay? And I am really wondering if this is all real. Like, really? Because I thought you were a broke fabric salesman. Well, maybe he owns the company. Now I'm thinking he owns the company, and he was like doing an undercover boss situation and kind of going in sculpturally like the rep, but he really owned the business. Okay. But I wasn't sure yet, okay, if he was the owner or if he was still a rep. but it was a decent sized diamond. So now I'm going to the bathroom to put on this necklace, okay? And while I'm in the bathroom, how to tell if the diamond your boyfriend brought you is really cubic zirconia. How to tell if the diamond your boyfriend bought you is really cubic zirconia. A, rub it on a glass. If it whistles sharply, it is a fake. B, scratch it. If it scratches or dulls, it is a fake. C, drop it in a jar of honey. If it floats to the top, it is a fake. Okay. So this is the first one. Now we're gonna pick up the second. This is hilarious. Does it matter? There's fabric. I have honey in the bathroom. I don't know what's going on in the bathroom. Maybe you rub it all up. Maybe, I don't know. Good morning, Amanda. I'm definitely in the wrong place for this start of Amanda, we're just having fun today with my new game. Lots of jars of honey in the bathroom. Yeah, maybe they take a honey bath. I don't know. Drop it. Drop in the water. If it is invisible, then real. Might as well put that honey on my feet then. So I'm going now on row 2. Ready? And the answer is scratch it. If it scratches or dulls, it is a fake. Well, honey, I went ahead and tried to scratch that sucker. I could not scratch that sucker. That was a real diamond. So now this rep has become the owner of the fabric company. Yep, he became the owner of the fabric company. And now all these people are around. I come back outside. He's sitting on the couch. He whispers something into my ear. And the next thing I know is that we need to blockade a door without a lock, because the living room has open, I don't know. It has a door. And I do not want people coming in and out of that door. Nope. So how to blockade a door without a lock to create privacy on your date? A, roll up a rug, blanket, or other spare clothing and jam it into the crack at the bottom of the door. B, take a rope and tie it from the doorknob to a shelf or cabinet next to the door. C, tilt a chair backward and wedge the top of it underneath the doorknob. Kick it in to make sure the blockade is tight. Here we go. With that said, I'm going to keep sewing my row 2. One of my rooms better be ready for the retreat you're hosting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even making these questions up. They're kind of funny. I'm making up the story. The background story is made up, but the questions are not. All right. So the answer is, we only got one answer. Oh, 2 answers. C. The answer is C. Yes, we're tilting that chair backward. Okay. Now everything is all privacy. We have privacy now. Okay. So, how to impress your date with a shiatsu massage. How to impress your date with a shiatsu massage. A, massage the body by using long strokes flowing toward the heart. B, massage the body using fingers, palms, and elbows, applying pressure to the meridian lines of the body. C, massage the body using kneading motions and short strokes to apply light pressure. I am not making this up. This really is a question. And this is basically, there's only 2 more questions left for this series of how to survive life in the dating world. Tomorrow will be work. These questions are work-related questions. Long arm. Oh my goodness. A long arm. All right. I'm telling you, this is going to be a fun week. A week of laughter, a week of surprises. I actually had no idea that this game was going to have these questions at all when I purchased it. The funny thing is that I bought it on eBay, so there was only 1 pack of questions unwrapped from the cellophane. The other questions weren't unpacked. I guess between the dating questions and the work questions, they decided they didn't want to play anymore. Is my guess. So start with the scalp. Oh my goodness. In a fabric fetish. All right, so the answer is B. Massage the body using fingers, palms, and elbows, applying pressure to the meridian lines of the body. All right, so now he's fallen asleep. You massaged him. He's fell asleep. You were good. Nothing happened. No dirt. Nothing happened. You were a good girl. Nothing happened. So, but he fell asleep, and by the time you left, you were laying there and you were like, oh my gosh, how to survive a snoring partner. Okay, I have a word. No. I would never do any of this either, but for some reason, you married the man, okay? You found out he was the owner of the thing. He proposed to you, and how he proposed to you was when you got home, there was a long arm in your house and a nice box with a 4-carat ring in there, and you married him, and on your wedding night, you all fell asleep, and now you're screwed because how to survive a snoring partner. You did not know he snored until you got married. Okay? Enough said. So here we go. A, wake up your partner. Be subtle at first, then move aggressive if necessary. B, when snoring starts, move to another room. C, put something over your partner's face like a pillow. Be careful not to suffocate them. Okay. Yep. Just because you gave someone a shiatsu massage didn't mean that, you obviously married him not knowing. So A, B, or C? We have an X. A, but that doesn't work. Then B. Tempted to do C. If you go solely on a honey can sleep because I went out. So the answer is A. Wake up your partner, be subtle at first, and then more aggressive if necessary. All right. And the last one. I've married him. I was good on the yacht. And because I was good on the yacht, I ended up with a long arm because the man, yeah. You know, you can't give away the milk for free. You got to have a long arm, okay? I mean, the answer, good morning, Nikki, is just go upstairs and use your long arm and sew. I don't know, but that's all done. You got a snoring partner now. But you had kids, okay? So down the line, yes, you were very good on the yacht. Down the line, you got a long arm and you got kids and your kids grew up and you have a daughter. And now, how to greet your daughter's first date. How to greet your daughter's first date. A, shake hands and stare for an uncomfortably long time. If he breaks off and looks away, that's good. You've established dominance. And if he stares back, ooh, you're in trouble. B, open the door wearing a dirty t-shirt and offer him a beer. If he takes it, you're in trouble. C, open the door and act like you've never heard of whoever he asked for. If he laughs at the prank, that's a good sign, but you're in trouble. So we have an A, we have an A, we have an A, we have an A. Oops. So the first, let me see how I press this. The first ones were pressed to the right, so this pile has to be pressed to the left. So if this has to be pressed to the left, I'm going to go with this way. Right? I hope I'm doing this right. We'll see. Do a background check. These are coming out so beautifully. Look at this. If you have a grown daughter of dating age with a mother like yourself, you're in trouble. Whoever she dates, if she comes to the door to meet him with boots, honey, and fabric, you taught her too much. So the answer is A, shake hands and stare for an uncomfortably long moment. If he breaks off and looks away, that's good. You've established dominance. And if he stares back, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. All right. So that right there, I think, I don't know because I didn't go through all of them. That brings you to our dating segment of how to survive. What is it called? I don't even know. Oh, here it is. The worst case scenario game of surviving life, dating edition. Our dad would be cleaning his weapons on the coffee table while we talk to the fella I can't handle. He isn't the right one. All right, so we've done all that. Let's see. Well, I want to finish this row, so I'm going to go to the back of the questions. Has nothing to do with dating, just random questions. How to remove your tongue from a frozen pole? How to remove your tongue from a frozen pole? A, we're not talking about dating anymore. A, yank your tongue off. Can't believe this came up. I need to probably pick another question. A, yank your tongue off using one quick tug. B, slowly peel your tongue off. Can't. We gotta, we do this another day. We're not talking about dating. Oh my God. Oh, I can't even see these questions anymore. Oh, I can't do that question right now. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's move on to something else. We'll talk about that another day. It can't be today. I remember, I did that too. Has anybody done that? Gina wrote, oh man, I remember that happening with the metal ice tray. Yes, yes. And then it had the lever. I did that. Yes. No. Okay, so let's go with something else. We'll do that another day. How to tell if your child has ingested a toxic mushroom. A, symptoms include difficulty breathing, ringing in the ears, and numbness in the extremities. B, symptoms include hallucinations, joint aches, dizziness, abdominal throbbing, sore throat, and headache. C, symptoms include dilated or pinpoint pupils, salivation, slow or rapid heart breathing, sweating, and nausea. Good morning, Norma. All right, I'm just making sure that I have these right. I do. All right, we're going to finish this row. We should know this. Why we should know this? Okay, we should know this. C. Well, that could be from my cooking. C. I wonder if that question, never mind. That's weird that was behind a dating question. I can't even look at it seriously. Last week's same question about a child's ingesting a mushroom. Okay. Past games have trained us for this scenario. Okay. Let's go for it. It is C. C. Symptoms include dilated or pinpoint pupils, salivation, slow or rapid heartbeat, sweating, and nausea. All right. So we're going to have some repeat offenders, right? Repeat questions. That's okay. We just got to educate ourselves. It's all right. We're training. We're in training because there'll be a test, okay? So this one is completely done. So we could put that in the box. All right. Now, how to deal with a corrupt border official who has detained you. A, ask to call your country's embassy. B, demand to speak to his superior. Or C, suggest that you will pay a fine directly to him. A. Pay a fine to him, yes. So the answer is C, suggest that you will pay a fine directly to him. This question is done. We'll put that in that little bucket. Okay, last ditch fluids you can drink after distilling. What? Last ditch fluids you can drink after distilling. Okay. A, bleach, cleaning fluid, and printer toner. C, urine, blood, and seawater. C, ink, swimming pool water, and water used to fill a vinyl waterbed. That is a strange question. I don't think I even understand the question. The only thing I've ever heard of distilling is like alcohol, like making alcohol. But the answer is last ditch fluids you can drink after distilling is urine, blood, and seawater. Ew. Okay, so that's done. And I'm going to put up this. And with that said, hold on. We're going to put this up. And here we are. We have 2 rows of our Fabric Hut Mountain. I think it is distilling and I think is distilling desalination. I don't know. So all I can say is we have 2 rows of our Fabric Hut Mountain situation. We survived dating. Tomorrow I will be working more on this or have a lot more done. I'm not sure how my day's going. Oh, we'll spill some tea tomorrow of what I've been up to because I've been packing. I have decided to bring, thank you, I love the mountains too. It's this. I have it linked below the pattern of the kit. What I'm packing, some things I'm packing, stuff like that. We'll be also trying to have the worst case scenario in these cards for work. You know, work scenarios will be in here. And that's it. So everyone have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Pass it forward. I hope I didn't like offend anybody or, you know, we're just having fun. These really were the questions that were in there. I'm not trying to be, you know, funny, like inappropriate, but you know, it is a game of life, right? And this whole game is going to take us through life. So dating is part of life, and as funny as it can be, it is part of life. And now tomorrow we're going to have work situations. If you study about astronauts, you'll learn that urine is distilled for drinking while in space. Well, there you go. I know a lot about urine. I used to watch Extreme Cheapskates. Butters could come educate us with the life-saving. Yes, he can. So cheapskates. You ever heard of that? Extreme cheapskates? There was a woman who collected her urine and put it outside to make ammonia and would wash her whole house once her urine turned into ammonia that she used for cleaning. I never forgot that episode because I thought that was an odd thing. So I think urine can be used for a lot of things, I think. Not sure if I want to wash my whole house with it, but hey, to each his own. Anyway, everyone have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Pass it forward. And just, yeah, you're coming for quilting and some odd questions. Have a great day. A bunch of people together with different sense of humor. It's always equals crazy fun. You're right. Life is crazy. Take care. Bye.